It's 9:30 in Pittsburgh. During the next half hour, we're going to talk about women and money with author Sylvia Auerbach. Don's Nooks and Crannies corner, he's going to take us to a crazy corner out in Wilkinsburg. And then some toe-tapping time with a sampling, the Gospel Award Show. This and more coming up on Good Day Pittsburgh.
Good morning. Welcome to Good Day Pittsburgh with Eleanor, Schano White, and Tom Peterson with news.
Good morning, everybody. If it has to be rainy and chilly, might as well be a Friday. So welcome to this Friday edition of Good Day Pittsburgh, October 5th. Things are going to heat up this afternoon down at Three Rivers Stadium. Come on, Bucks, let's do it in three. We're going to meet our first guest in just a minute, but right now, Andrea Wood's ready with a morning news update. Good morning, Andrea.
Good morning, Eleanor. Court-ordered negotiations will resume today in the long strike by teachers in the West Jefferson Hills District. Yesterday, 400 parents had their day in common pleas court and learned if these talks are not successful in reaching a settlement, the parents' suit that seeks to force classes to reopen will be heard on Saturday. Meantime, talks are continuing to end that Bethel Park teachers' dispute, and in Mount Lebanon, an agreement is reportedly near. The Mount Lebanon School Board is said to have scheduled an emergency meeting for tomorrow to ratify a tentative pact if one is reached. Allegheny County Coroner Cyril Wecht has asked the Supreme Court not to enter the probe of his operation of the county morgue. Earlier this week, County Commissioner Robert Pierce asked the court to assume extraordinary jurisdiction. The court agreed to discuss the request on Monday in Philadelphia. Both Pierce and Wecht are candidates for County Commission in the November 6th general election. Pittsburgh School Superintendent Jerry Olson has proposed closing 10 city elementary schools as part of a reorganization of the school system. Olson reportedly recommended the closings in private meetings with the Pittsburgh School Board. The changes in organizations of the school is an attempt by the administration to comply with court orders to desegregate the Pittsburgh public school system. Enrollment is down in Allegheny County's public and Catholic schools. Latest figures show enrollment is off by 31% compared with the same statistics 10 years ago. Pope John Paul will celebrate an outdoor mass near the shores of Lake Michigan in Chicago's Grant Park today. In Beirut today, a newspaper is quoting diplomatic sources as saying Pope John Paul will visit Lebanon around December 20th. In sports, the Orioles beat the Angels yesterday by a score of 9-8. They had to hang on to do it, however. The Pittsburgh Pirates today will go with Bert Blyleven against Cincinnati's all-star right-hander Mike Lacoste as they seek a third straight victory over the Reds and the National League Championship. We know they're going to do it. Isn't that right, Eleanor?
Okay, thanks, Andrea. We're going to check up now with our roving reporter, Don Jack, and in this installment of the American Trail series, this morning, Don is going to take us to a visit with a chimney sweep. Mary Poppins, where are you?
The American Trail, presented by Agway and its farmer owners across the Northeast, growing food for America.
There was a time when buggy whip salesman and the iceman who delivered every morning and the neighborhood chimney sweep found themselves standing in the same unemployment line as buggies and iceboxes and fireplaces became a part of the past. But wait, is that a black-clad figure complete with top hat going in that front door? Is the chimney sweep coming back?
Yes, chimney sweeps are coming back. A lot of folks are burning solid fuel these days now that the price of gas and oil have gone up. They're using wood in their fireplaces, wood stoves, and the like.
His name is Tom Chambly. Tom's a chimney sweep. Tom's chimney sweeping is done around Syracuse, New York, and that's where we found him practicing his trade. Where does one go to learn to be a chimney sweep? What did you do? How did you learn? Where did you go?
Well, I was keeping up on the news, and as I did, of course, I noticed fuel prices going up. Being dissatisfied with my other job, I decided that this job would be one where the demand is, so I decided to do it. I learned to do it by reading books. You can learn anything in the world by reading books.
What did you learn? What does one have to know to be a sweep?
Well, you have to be reasonably dexterous. You have to know about chimneys, the way they're constructed, where all the little corners and things are, so you can clean them up. You need to know about solid fuels, because a lot of people ask about what to burn, where to burn it. I also do outside chimney work. So while we're repairing the outside, you need to know about concrete. You have to be able to go up on a ladder and things like that. You can't have fear of heights.
You work top to bottom. You have to go up on the roof, work down, start here, work up.
Mostly we do our work from the bottom. On this particular chimney, I did have to go up on the roof, and a lot of people like that anyway, because sweep on the roof is good luck.
What's the idea of the costume, the black hat, the black turtleneck, and all dressed in black?
Well, the costume is traditional. My hat is my lucky hat, and I won't go up on the roof without it.
What reaction do you get from people when you're dressed that way?
Most people are very interested. A lot of people want to come up and touch me, shake my hand, and say hi, things like that.
Do they?
Yes, they do. I had a lady stop by when I was in a parking lot not long ago, waiting to go into a store. She came up to me and said, "Are you a sweep? Are you a sweep?" And I said, "Yes." She touched my shoulder, got all tensed up, and went away.
How do you feel about what you're doing?
I really enjoy it. It's good physical work, and I like that. I don't mind climbing around on roofs. I'm my own boss, and things go nicely for me.
And it's nice having a lucky occupation, so to speak.
I think so. The equipment helps a lot, too, I must say.
He was a school teacher, now turned chimney sweep, and as every good school teacher would do, he learned it from a book. There's something to be said for liking what you do, and Tom Chambly does that. He also knows that chimney sweeps, well, they're as lucky can be. So work on, Tom. Keep up the good work and the good luck. I'm Don Jacks with chimney sweep Tom Chambly in Janesville, New York, on the American Trail.
The American Trail, brought to you by Agway, feeding animals on the farm so your family can have wholesome food to eat and drink, feeding family pets for the health and energy they need. Agway nourishes animals with years of experience. Agway, pioneering in animal nutrition.
Money means different things to men than to women. This according to Sylvia Auerbach, who has written this marvelous book, A Woman's Book of Money, A Guide to Financial Independence. And Sylvia, to women, well, money means, I guess I have to speak personally, money is really not important. But to a man, it seems to me that it's power, it's control, right?
Right. Yes, I agree with you. It is important to women, but they can't come right out and say, gee, I have to know what our income is. Because a man, somehow or other, he's been educated to think that money is tied up with his virility. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't want to threaten this because she knows this is a very tender subject. And so she may be even better, say, at managing money than he is. But she's not going to threaten him by saying, let me do it.
A lot of women have grown up with a basic fear of math.
Yes.
I don't know where this began, but you have this anxiety about adding and subtracting and simple sixth grade arithmetic.
Right, right. Let me tell you, there was a very interesting survey done that shows that all the way through junior high school, there's absolutely no difference in the ability between men and women children, when it comes to math. And it's, there are bright boys and bright girls when it comes to math, and some who are stupid. Well, I don't want to say stupid, just not as competent at it. When it gets to high school, the boys have been educated to know that the jobs in business and engineering and so on require math. They take math. For some reason or other, girls begin to turn off. And so by the time they graduate high school, this divergence is there. And women have this terrible anxiety. Do you know that right now there are math anxiety clinics? Maybe one will come to Pittsburgh.
And guess who's going to sign up first?
Because then women can go and they see that they are not, they deal with recipes. And math is involved, maybe more complicated math than balancing a checkbook, which you have to take for 12 and cut it down to 2 and divide and so on. They can do it because they're confident. It's a question of confidence. We don't all need to know calculus, and all of us can know basic math. So women it's just been built up, they've been socialized to think that math is a man's world and it's not a woman's world, and they are so anxious that they get turned off. And it's too bad.
When you put together this manual, I'm going to call it, this guide, was it designed for the unmarried woman or for the married woman?
Well, for both. For both.
How does a married woman find financial independence if her husband is indeed controlling the checkbook, controlling the bank account?
Well, one of the first things she has to do, I think, is recognize her contribution to the family. And this is not done. Women, one of my friends added up, she gave every task that a housewife does a dollar figure, and she added up and she said the average housewife at home with 2 kids is worth $700 a week. And where is this recognized? Nowhere. You know, we talk about who earns what, a clerk, a secretary, an executive, a banker, something. We never say what the woman earns, and yet if she's out sick and somebody has to come in and drive the kids and so on. So the first thing I think women have to do is recognize that they're making a contribution, if not in dollars, in labor, and accept this role. And then they feel better about themselves, and they say, this is a little family enterprise. I am the partner who is at home. You are the partner who is out there, but it is our business together, and we have to share. And I think there are men who will recognize not only the fairness of it, but gee whiz, you know, why not to share some of this burden?
Do women know enough about investment plans and about savings programs? Do you think that maybe we should accumulate more knowledge as to what we can do with the money so that we can make suggestions to our spouses?
Right. Well, the first thing I want to do in answer to that is say, let's dispel a myth that men know all these things too. And I find with young men, they're very honest, and they will say, you know, I don't know any of those things either, really. So, but there's this myth that somehow or other when a little boy is growing up, these things accumulate in his head automatically. Not true at all. Yes, I think men and women both should and do learn more about it, because in times of inflation, you have to know how to manage your money to get the most for it, which is not too much.
Sylvia, what about establishing credit? What advice do you have for women in establishing credit in their own name?
Yes. A lot of women think that they have credit in their own name because they have a charge card that says Mrs. John Doe. And they pay the bills, they write the checks. It is not in their own name if it's Mrs. John Doe. It's got to be Mrs. Mary Doe. And I say, having seen many divorcees and widows who had trouble getting credit, the time to get it is when there's no trouble. You know, buy an umbrella on a sunny day. And the law now says that the department store or wherever you have your charge has to keep a credit history in your own name. All you have to do is ask them. It's as simple as that.
It's just a little sampling of the kind of good, solid advice that you'll find in this book. It's A Woman's Book of Money, A Guide to Financial Independence by Sylvia Auerbach, our guest this morning on Good Day Pittsburgh. Thank you so much, Sylvia.
Thank
you.
You.
We're going to be right back with Nooks and Crannies. We love Fridays around here, and not just because we get to sleep a little later tomorrow morning, but because Don Gogniat always stops by. And Nooks and Crannies, this morning, Don, you are going to take us to a crazy corner in Wilkinsburg.
Well, it's crazy, but it's crazy simply because the way everybody manages to get along with the kinds of different lifestyles that are there. So it's actually crazy in a wonderful sense.
How did you find Trenton Avenue?
I live near there. I happen to know the corner rather well, so we get a chance to see some of the, actually this is more human interest, nooks and crannies than just places. Trenton Square, like a lot of places, was a small business district about 20 or 30 years ago. The shopping centers weren't able to, were able to undermine this shopping center, so there's been a lot of changes in what's happened on Trenton Avenue in general. And when we look at some of the slides, we'll see how some of these change, how they've taken old stores, which used to be hardware stores and drug stores and candy stores, and changed them into rather interesting things. Big Jim Werner, who lives on this corner, is one of the people that we'll visit eventually here. I think we can lead into Trenton Square, and we'll see what happened with the next few slides. They actually chopped up Trenton Avenue, which was a shopping center, and put a multi-unit townhouses with a little park in the center. This is the one end leading into our corner. A fine example of well-maintained row houses, which you find all over Pittsburgh, but these four are particularly nice.
How old were those houses about, Don?
I'd say they were built in the 1920s, is my guess, maybe a little bit before. This is the townhouse square where Trenton Avenue used to go through. Now it has a park in it. These are rather expensive apartments in a very nice area, 2 blocks from Frick Park. Now we're into the corner, more or less. This is where Trenton Avenue comes in at the other side. And let's just stop and look at this corner. This is a place where the U.S. Information Agency might be able to make a documentary on what American life is all about, because there's such a mix here. In this building, which used to be a drugstore that's on now, it's now a courtroom. On the 3rd floor is a small entrepreneur who does catering work. She's doing quite well. I think we'll find in the next slide the name of the Justice of the Peace there. So on one corner we have a courtroom. On the other corner we have a little delicatessen that opened to serve the needs of the people in the high-rise and around the corner. He just took down his orange and brown awnings, but it's still a rather pleasant building. It's a park-type atmosphere around here. And now we're going to look at these three buildings. Actually, there's 5 or 6. These used to be businesses in here. There's still some businesses here. On the corner is Hooper's Roofing Contracting. This is Big Jim's truck. Now,
we saw Big Jim
first lead-in shot. We'll see him shortly. Big Jim, this is inside Big Jim's home. Big Jim is a person who collects things and recycles things, and certainly is very helpful when you need, anybody in the neighborhood needs a tool or needs something to get work done. This is the back of Big Jim's house. He's taken from the...
Gee, I don't feel so badly about my garage now, if that's the
well,
back of...
this is in Shadyside. There was a mansion there. There was beautiful red sandstone that he saved. He's going to use it for building a small house in the country. It's just, he recycles these things. If we look in these two things, we have Fox's Pizza Den, which is owned by the people that live across the street. And you might see in this one storefront here a lace curtain. This is a residence. Now, I want you to see how they've changed these storefronts into living places. The next slide, I think, will show that lace curtains a little bit in more detail, and then we'll get in and see what's actually happening in the front of these windows. Doves live in the front of these windows, a big bird cage. An artist lives here. Her name is Helen Webster. She has a studio in the front part, I think, which will be coming up very shortly. This is, she teaches at the Art Institute in Pittsburgh, does some fine work, but this is in the front part of her studio. In the back part, she's completely redone the entire house so that it's just a marvel to look at. I think we'll see some of these shots in here, but this is a little overexposed. This is just an old storefront that when you go into it, it's quite an amazing house. All of these things are antiques. They've been redone by her. It's a beautiful place. I think we'll have a picture of her. This is the kitchen. She looked around for a 1910 gas stove that fits into the spirit of the kind of a kitchen she has. The sink itself is built in to a wooden area. It's just, there she is right there. She's an artist and has created a work of art right here on this corner.
Don, you say this was a shopping center. Are you saying that most of these buildings were originally commercial establishments and now they have been converted to private residences?
Right. They can't possibly have competed with the Monroeville malls. We have so many small business districts in the Pittsburgh area. Some of them are capable of competition, but this place just couldn't.
What is the ethnic mix? Because we've always, in all the places you take us, it's always so interesting to determine just which group of people settled.
This isn't so much an ethnic mix as a lifestyle mix. But what's fascinating about the corner is all these different kinds of people get along. For example, when a can is thrown down by a youngster, you'll hear Big Jim around the corner saying, "Pick it up, put it in the trash," and the other people support him. It's just a very nice, interesting place where different kinds of people manage to live so well together. And
demographically, a wide spectrum of age also.
Yes.
Not
Across
just
the street from all those shops are basically rather elderly people. Mrs. Craddy owns most of those places. She rents to older people at very reasonable rates. It's just a very fine, community-oriented neighborhood.
Trenton Square out in Wilkinsburg. And Don, where are we going to go next week? Have you decided yet?
I haven't decided yet. We were going to go to the Parkway, but it's just so much there that I don't think we can do it justice in the
No, I think if we do the Parkway, we're going to have to do it in at least 3 installments, and we might lose you in the meantime because you might get stuck out in traffic.
Well, there's a lot of time to observe.
Well, get ready with your toe tapping because we're going to be back with some old-time gospel music. Bobby Jean Cromartie is the producer of the first annual Gospel Award Show. It's coming up this Sunday, October 7th at Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Hall out in Oakland. And since it's the first annual, you're going to have to tell us exactly what it's all about.
Okay. The first annual Gospel Awards program is a program to recognize gospel singers from the tri-state area. We're going to have 6 categories. We're going to have Best Female Vocalist, we're going to have Male Vocalist, Female Group, Male Group, Mixed Group, and Gospel Choir. We're going to give a trophy to the winners in each of those categories, and the trophy is going to be called the Bremar Award in honor of Gloria Brisket and Alexander Martin, who are in fact religious institutions in terms of gospel music in Pittsburgh. We have a proclamation from the mayor that's going to be read by Representative Irvis at the awards program, and one from the governor. We have several record companies who are interested in some of our nominees. So we're going to be doing a lot of things, and we're very excited about it.
Bobby, the nominees have already been selected, so all you're going to do is make the big announcement Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock.
Right.
And one of the stipulations was that each performance had to be 3 minutes in length, and you said that's because if they go on to become big stars, they have to perform recording time of 3 minutes.
Right.
We're going to get a sampling right now. The Curtis Lewis Ensemble, one of the nominees from
the mixed group category.
Okay,
Right.
Curtis Lewis, if you're ready, we are.
At last and deep, my Savior bleed, and did my sovereign die. Would he devote the sacred route for such a worm as I? Where I first saw the light, the burdens of my heart rolled away. The burdens of my heart rolled away. It was there by faith I received my sight. And right now I am happy. At the cross, where I first saw the light, the burdens of my heart rolled away. The burdens of my heart, it was there by faith I received. Right now I am happy. I'm happy. Was it for crime that I had done? The Savior groaned upon the tree. It was amazing, amazing pity and grace untold. And help, I had help beyond degree. At the cross, where I first saw the light, the burdens of my heart rolled away. It was there by faith I received. Right now I am happy for
The weather forecast now for metropolitan Pittsburgh. Variable cloudiness with showers. Our high today near 60. Partly cloudy tonight with patchy fog and a low near 40.
October 5th, Aries. A social matter can work out very well today. Enjoy the company of good friends. Taurus, think before you reveal a secret. It may be best to wait a while. Gemini, good news can come from a relative. It may be something you've expected. Cancer, 3 different matters may require your attention. Try to take one at a time. Leo, learn more about a situation before you form an opinion about it. Ask questions. Virgo, talk about family finances with someone close. A joint effort could bring better results. Libra, it may be up to you to prevent an argument. Call upon your sense of humor. Scorpio, an associate may deserve a kind word from you today. Boost someone's sagging confidence. Sagittarius, have patience to wait for results now. Your rewards can come in due time. Capricorn, it may be necessary to make an important decision. Take your time to think. Aquarius, some news can come from a distant place. It may require an immediate reply. Pisces, try to complete unfinished projects today. Get them off your mind, then relax.
You want to be a star? Well, tune in Monday morning for Good Day Pittsburgh. We're going to have a famous acting coach who's going to stop by and give you some tips. Also, that famous Florida designer Lily Pulitzer. We're going to have a preview of some of those fine fashions. And we know it isn't even Halloween, but we're also going to have a preview of the 1979 Christmas Mart coming up later at Allegheny Country Club. Join us Monday morning, 9:30 to 10, right here on TV 53. Have a nice weekend, everyone.
This has been Good Day Pittsburgh with Eleanor Schano White and Tom Peterson with news. Join us each weekday morning at 9:30 for a special blend of features and interviews on Good Day Pittsburgh.